The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Wrap this one up in green and white.
Hello, RailCats fans, and welcome back to another edition of the RailCat Talk podcast. I am your host, Kyle Savetic, and today the American Association released the schedule for the 2023 season, and May 11th is right around the corner, I guess, like 190-something days, I think it is. But the RailCats this year do get the home opener in the first week. Unlike last year when they went to Chicago, this year they get... they get to be home for the opening weekend. I'm kind of disappointed it's not on the 12th. It's not on a Friday. I think it would just be better off they kick the seasons off on a Friday than everyone. But I know that like half the league is playing on Thursday and half the league is playing on Friday. It is what it is. And I can't complain. The only reason I can complain is because it's opening day. And I would have to work in the morning. Potentially on Friday morning. But a little update before I get any further into the news about potential job in South Bend. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. My wife took a bigger paying job, so that one is kind of out of the tables a little bit. So I probably will be staying in the area, which is awesome because I want to get the season tickets, the family pass, and I want to go to as many games as I possibly can this year. So I'm excited that I don't have to miss out on that as I thought I was. So I get to kind of look at these games and really hit hard on what I want to watch, what series I want to watch, the different teams that are coming in, that kind of stuff. But I know the RailCats really haven't made any movements. There's a lot of movement going on in the American Association. So I wonder what's going to happen there. What's the reason? I guess I'll get into that after I've talked about the schedule. I guess I'm getting a little sidetracked. I'm here to talk about the schedule. Dang it. All right. So we open against Winnipeg. Winnipeg Gold Eyes, the 11th at 6:45 at the Steelyard. I know the promotion schedule isn't out yet, so we're not sure exactly what's going to be what, when, and where that's going to happen. But you get the first 6 games at home, and then Kansas City comes in, which is going to be, they didn't make it to the finals, but they made it to their respective division finals. So it's going to be interesting to see that portion of it. Then we got Lincoln, Salt Dogs. Then we got Lake Country. That's we're just going through the month of May here. This is the first road game is at Lincoln, and that leads into Lake Country. And then we get King County coming back on that Friday the 26th, 27th, 28th. And then I believe that is Memorial Day, which is in May. That Monday, the 29th, is a doubleheader, and we get to see the Milwaukee Milkmen, who did make it to the finals, but just couldn't get over Fargo. So it's going to be interesting to see them. That series last year was very entertaining with the RailCats, kind of going back and forth a little bit. So I'm excited to see the Milkmen back at the Steelyard. Get excited about that win. Then in June... we don't see anyone like the Sioux Falls. We go to Sioux Falls, but then we get that long 6-game series that really was the highlight of the RailCat season as far as where they were in the playoff race and this and that kind of stuff. So I mean, we get to see Cleburne pretty early-ish, and I know Cleburne was kind of struggling out of the gates this year, so maybe or last year, so maybe this year they struggle out of the gates and we can jump on that and get a little bit, have a little bit better record just going into when they see him at the end of July. But I'm excited to see Cleburne again. I know that series kind of got a little chippy there towards the end, especially your Cleburne is going to struggle with most of the time. I mean, they're going to be a team that's on edge just because they go on these long road stretches at home a long time. So realistically, out of everyone, I think Cleburne realistically has the hardest schedules. Just because based on the travel, just going from Texas to everywhere else and being on these, 6-game road, most of the time it's 6 games that they're on these road trips, 6 games per city, so on and so forth. So, maybe that's a bit of an advantage for them because they kind of get the feel, the rhythm of being away. So it kind of turns into a home game, kind of that kind of deal. So I don't know. I just think with Cleveland, with all the moving pieces going on, um, I would like to see maybe if they do expand any of the American Association to get more teams that way. So then, it doesn't have to be 6 games that you're playing the same team 6 times, in one run of it. You can make a long road trip out of it. You hit a handful of games here and there, blah, 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 this and that. Getting sidetracked again. But uh, we don't see the defending Wolf Cup champions, the Fargo Moorheads, until the middle of June. That's at Fargo, the June 20th to the 22nd. The next time that Fargo comes to the Steel Yard, what I'm looking at here, is the last week in August, right before. That's the last homestand. The last homestand is from the 22nd to the 27th. We don't see Chicago actually for the first month. We don't even see them in the second month. We have to wait all the way until July, if I'm looking at this right. Yeah, we don't see them in July until after the All-Star break, when they actually come to the Steel Yard, which is the 20th at noon. So there's going to be a lot of games compact against Chicago this year. I'm just surprised that they don't really spread that series out a little bit. It's just kind of compact right then and there. So, maybe that'll be interesting to see, if Chicago's starting to come on that decline a little bit, if it's going to make the series more interesting. It was fun last year watching that as well. Um, I guess for me, there's a handful of series that I'm excited to watch. Just watch the teams. I think especially to see that now that may change throughout the course of the offseason, just to see. It looks like Kansas City's kind of throwing some people off. They're not all right then, and I think they got rid of Darnell Sweeney. So there's a lot that's going on, the in and outs, and that's the crazy thing about this league is that you just don't have the consistency as far as the knowing what you're going to get yourself into. What can transpire over the course of a week or two, or even a day or two, and you miss it, and you just, next thing you know, what the heck happened. But all I know is the RailCats have not made any moves that I'm aware of, which, like I said in the last podcast, I'm not sure how this is shaping up or how it's going to go, whatever the case may be. But a little bit for the overall league. Commissioner Joshua Schwab did make a statement. Quote, he said, "As we look ahead to the 2023 season, we're optimistic about the growth of our league, improvement to our on-field play, and the love of the game." Then he went on to say, the 12 communities which we serve are stronger than ever, and we're looking forward to great baseball and great entertainment to them all come May. So I'm interested to see, there is growth in the league. It seems like it's kind of gaining some kind of traction. It's affordable, it's fun, it's entertaining. I think they made the playoff structure very well, which is going to be untamed. The Miles Wolf Cup playoffs will stay the same. It'll just be, the top 4 teams from each division will go and play the second round division champion series will also be best of 3, and then the Miles Wolf kind of will culminate in crowning the champion at best of 5. So like I said, it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to enjoy it. I hope it's going to be a good year for the RailCats. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what they've tried for this off season. I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of hard to understand the structure of the American Association. I don't know what the contracts are like, if they've set up most of the people. I mean, realistically, most of the people they brought in are newer. They haven't fully released anyone yet. They're just newer, so I don't know if there is a 1-2 year contract, if there's 3. I don't know how it's all kind of to resolve itself in the end of, if it's just 1 year and they have to renew it every year, or they have to based on finances. If the league gives them amount of money, like there's no like public salary cap, there's no public like contract records of anything, and no one really is open about talking about that kind of stuff. So I don't know if that's just the sport, or not the sport, the league is such a smaller league that they're not really about that. They're just more about promoting the league, and you're not really worried about what happens here and what happens there. Players go in and out. It's not like they are an affiliate to an MLB team, so you don't get that for that structure of knowing that this player is probably going to, if it's a AAA team or a AA team, like this player is going to be here for a couple, because the bigger club is doing really well, where the case may be. So like right now, it just seems like a lot of trial and error. Like the trades between other leagues are still kind of confusing to me. Trying to collaborate all that together and understand how that works. But like I said, not a lot has been made. I don't know if I talked about Daniel Ngwa winning Rookie Position Player of the Year. That is a award that's voted by the managers, team executives, and media relation personnel. So in order to win this award, I mean, obviously, I know Daniel's been with the team for a year or two. I know that kind of confuses itself. But I know he had a very hot beginning of the year, all the way up the All-Star break, and kind of simmered down a little bit. But I mean, to get the respect of the league from all the executives, the managers, media people, that kind of stuff, it's a good. I think really what helped him propel to that spot was the final vote in for the All-Star, to be able to win that, and being shortstop position, that's typically always a higher position that anyone really looks at on the field of play, at least. So yeah, good for him. He had a 2.6 win above replacement record, which led all rookies in the league, and then 21st in the entire league as a whole. So out of the 12 teams, the numbers, it's still pretty high, being in the top 25 of that as well. So I'm hoping to get some kind of news rolling around, that kind of stuff. I'm still trying to collect a lot of work's been kind of hectic right now. Life just kind of been really hectic, so it's just kind of been hard to sit down and focus on trying to do this stuff. So I was glad that this stuff came out, and being able to just kind of talk about the series that I want to potentially see. I want to know what games you're looking forward to going to, what series you're looking forward to even watching, even if it's an away series or whatever the case may be, or if you are going on the road, what places are you going to go to? I want to try to maybe get to a Chicago Dog game this year. I think that would be interesting to go out there and see impact field, see a different field, maybe even King County. But we'll kind of see how that works out. Milwaukee, I think Milwaukee would be a cool one to go to. As well. It's still a little bit out of the way, but not too terribly far from. I think it's like a 3-4 hour drive. So I hope big on the dock is going to a Dogs game, Dogs RailCats game, or where the case may be. Interested to see where the All-Star game is this year. That location is going to be later dated on that one. So, and it looks like the RailCats are actually in part of all of the holidays. When I saw all the holidays that there's games on, the RailCats are at home. I just don't think they're that final Labor Day finale before the season's over with. They're away at that point. I think they're playing Lincoln again. I'm not 100% positive. I could probably go back and look. I forget when Labor Day is. Maybe they're playing Milwaukee. I think that's what it is. I think Labor Day is on the 4th next year. I don't remember. I know they're not at home on that portion of it. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for me. If you enjoyed the podcast, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friends, anyone that's interested in the American Association, or anyone that wants to have discussion. Like I said, any comments down below, I will try to get to. I may answer it in the next podcast, or I may answer you when I, sitting there playing on my phone or at work, whatever the case may be, and I'm on break. I can message back, that kind of stuff. If I don't message back, it's not that that I'm trying to ignore you. That just sometimes, if I see it when I first wake up or when I'm getting ready to go to bed and don't get a response, I appreciate everyone, the support, the love, just the outcry for there is a fan base for the RailCats, and there is a want by people to have podcasts for the RailCats, and I'm excited to do it every time I get on behind the microphone in front of you fans and that kind of stuff. So like I said, I appreciate everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your evening, whenever you're watching this or listening to this. And go Cats.